Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video with a story about some kind of people who never grew out of the phase as a little kid where they got jealous seeing some other kid get something at a store and demanded something too because the other kid got something. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Entitled neighbor expects my gardener to clean her garden for free. This happened recently. I live in a 20-unit complex where most of the neighbors know each other or have spoken at one point or another. One of the neighbors, Ben, has a lawnmower and mows everyone's lawns for free. Important for later. I've been in isolation because of COVID-19 for the past month and have been getting extra money from the government lately that I don't need, so I decided to put that money to good use and hire a gardener to fix up my front and back garden. The front garden's a complete mess. For the past 2 weeks, he's been coming and going to fix up my front garden in small increments, not interacting with me directly for obvious reasons. This happened yesterday when my gardener was working on my front garden. One of my neighbors, Jessica, came up to the gardener. I have security cameras outside so I can see what's going on in the driveway, and began complimenting him on his great work. I popped my head out so I could hear what was being said, but they couldn't see me. Jessica: "Yeah, that looks really good. I think you're doing a really nice job." She started getting overly complimentary, and I had a sneaking suspicion of what she was getting at. Jessica, not knowing I was around the corner and could hear everything: "You're doing such a good job here. Do you think you could work on my garden after you're done here? I don't think OP would mind." Me, coming around the corner: "Hi, Jessica, what's up?" Jessica, realizing she was busted: "Oh, hi, OP. Well, I was just saying what a good job your gardener's done so far. Oh, do you think he'd mind doing my garden as well?" "I'm sure he wouldn't mind. It's $30 an hour or $300 for the whole day." "What? I'm not paying for it. You hired a gardener, so it's your responsibility to do my garden as well." "I hired a gardener to do my garden. It's not up to me to pay for your garden to be done as well. But Ben mows the lawns for free. Your gardener should do my backyard for free too." "Sorry, Jessica, but if you want a private gardener, you'll have to pay for it like everyone else." "But I'm on a disability pension and can't afford that." "Clearly you can." "I'm on a disability pension too, so don't try that. I spend my money on important things, not the alcohol I see you buying all the time. So unless you're going to pay for his time, please let him get back to work." Jessica huffed and stomped off, and I haven't heard a peep from her since. But give it time, I'm sure she'll be back soon enough to get more things for free. How in the utter F do people think that they can get things like that for free? You'd have to be a real idiot to think that. And our second story. You're gonna cancel my vacation leave because I got sick? Okay. My vacation leave credits expire next month, so I requested 5 days off, hoping to go home to my family and get some rest. Only one of them got approved, and it's in the middle of the week. Reason being that we're short-staffed as usual. I suddenly had a very bad flare-up of arthritis in the beginning of last week. I could barely sit up, and walking up the stairs to get to my workstation, I work at home, is out of the question. So I took a day off, and my boss said, "Okay, that's fine, but we're going to have to cancel your vacation leave since you're going to rest anyway." It's not like I had any rest when I was writhing in my bed in pain. Spite empowered me, and I managed to get to a hospital with the last of my strength and my boyfriend's help to get my fluids drained. I felt a lot better, but I was in so much pain in the beginning that my doctor seemed to take pity on me and gave me 5 days rest, and he told me to just contact him if I need more. I was only planning to rest it out for a day or two, but I ended up having a whole week, or more if I felt like it, to myself, feeling much better. I was even able to go home. The best thing is that it's all paid since I also have plenty of sick leave credits left, and there's nothing they can do about that. And our next story. You want me to use real bandages for fake injuries? Fine. Needed background. My country has conscription. That means that every able male between the ages of 18 and 35 has to serve in the armed forces for a time. I did mine in the Navy. My specialty was medic, finishing as a petty officer. After you finish the service, you're put in the active reserve list, and they can call you in an emergency for refresher courses. Those can last between a day to a month. This happened during my first such course. Also important, despite serving in the Navy, due to being an essential specialty, I could be called by any branch. First time was the Army. On to the story. I received a letter to present myself on a certain date in a certain Army base for a refresher course. I knew it'd be annoying, but I arrived on that date with my backpack and wearing my navy blue garrison utilities with chevrons on. Immediately, I had a problem when a corporal tried to order me to sign for a rifle. Medics carry handguns or don't carry arms at all. After that was shorted, I fell in with the rest of the retrainees, as they called us. We're 20 people, ranging in age from 22 to 45. I noticed that except for me, only one other person is wearing different utilities. Light blue of the Air Force, and he happens to be a doctor. The rest are Army, mostly infantry. After 3 days of basically doing nothing, orders came down that me and the doc would have to join the senior class of officer cadets on their war games. We go to request equipment and they hand us 2 first aid bags, medium size, with some basic supplies. The doc asked for more supplies. The quartermaster said those supplies were all we were going to get according to regulations. The doc asked for that in writing before he signed anything out, which was provided. So Saturday comes, me and the doc get a ride with the cadets to the exercise area. We set up post in the neutral zone and wait. Our job was to provide first aid if something happened and treat and record any casualties of the war games. Almost immediately, cadet that was acting captain from now on, tried to boss us around, complaining about our setup and our lack of discipline. We were civilians, and our lack of polish. We were just there for legal reasons. The acting captain of the other team was much more relaxed with us. The next morning, the war games begin. Around noon, our first casualties start trickling in. Each casualty tells us the nature of their injury. We record it, and the doc decides if it's a walking wounded, need to spend time in the infirmary, or is off for the rest of the games, which meant staying in the stage area. Due to not being a live ammo exercise and our small amount of supplies, we pretty much give them a paper with their new status. Next day, first thing in the morning, the captain bursts in and he's in a mood. He starts shouting that about not doing our jobs. The following exchange happens. Doc, calm down and explain. Captain, you're not doing your jobs. I don't know who my casualties are. We gave them a paper about their status. That's not good enough. You have to dress their wounds. Do I have to tell you how to be a doctor? I don't think it's a good use of our little resources. No, you have to use it so I can know who my casualties are. I still think it's a bad use of resources. I gave you an order. I'm acting captain and you're just a warrant officer. Okay, but it's your problem if something happens. The captain stormed off after that. Couple hours later, the first casualties of the day start coming in. I asked the doc what we should do. You heard the man, full trauma protocol. We exchange evil grins and open up the bags. Anyone coming in gets the full treatment. Bullet wound to the leg, cut the pants open, sterilize the area, pad and bandage and medevac. Head wound, full concussion protocol. Head wound, full concussion protocol. Surface head wound, sterilize the area, 3 pads and a couple of bandages to keep them in place. Our supplies are out in the 10th casualty. And then karma strikes. They bring in the captain with a legit sprained ankle. He goes on a rant about bandaging him so he can go back to command. Doc, I'm sorry, we're out of supplies. We'll have to call in for resupply. Captain, what? How can you be out of supplies? Well, despite me telling you we have very little supplies, you ordered us to treat every casualty as it was real. The supplies are finished. The captain started spouting threats while Doc put in for resupply. The aftermath. A couple of the umpires, 2 lieutenants, and the quartermaster, sergeant, brought more supplies. The captain tried and failed miserably to pin the blame on us. The umpires, after hearing his order, shook the heads and removed him immediately from command. According to the quartermaster, the captain was kind of a jerk during training, but got the post because of family connections. For the next 3 days, we went back to our original plan, papers, and treated a couple of real injuries. I don't know what happened to the captain afterwards, but for the rest of the refresher course, we had a good time. I love it when a plan comes together. And our last story. It's my parking spot now. You didn't use it. My cousin bought a new apartment a few years ago. It came with a parking spot, but they left the spot empty for about 2 years. Later, his wife got pregnant, so they bought a car to drive her to doctor's appointments, etc. We have amazing public transport, but it's not the best option to move around for pregnant women. From time to time, they saw some cars in their spot, but they didn't care before they purchased their own. But a few weeks after purchase, they parked, and in the minute they stepped out of their vehicle, some other car behind them started honking, and Karen screamed for them for parking on her spot. Yeah, she thought that she earned the right to park there because they didn't use it for so long, so it's hers now because she can use it better. No. They tried to explain, but Karen just continued with screaming, so they gave up, wish her a nice day, and went home. Later that day, my cousin heard weird noises from the parking lot, and there was a towing truck. He ran downstairs, and you might guess which car was about to be towed. Yes, his. Karen stood there with an evil smile, chatting with the police officer. Well, the smile didn't last for long. Once my cousin understood what was going on, he explained to the police that the car shouldn't be towed, that it's his spot and his car. Officer looked dumbfounded, and Karen went super crazy mode, screaming, cursing, and yelling at everyone. Police officer didn't care, just politely asked for some papers proving ownership. In a few minutes, he got them, and Karen was charged for unauthorized usage of towing truck, calling police, and lying to authorities. She still complained, but paid, and never bothered my cousin and his wife again. They tried to find out later who she was, but she didn't live in the apartment building, so it was maybe only guest or lover of one of the residents. I love these stories about people being weirdly territorial over parking spots in apartment complexes they don't even live at. At least she GTFO after her failed attempt to inconvenience them. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.